Live, local, interactive, and in high definition. This is WWAY News Channel 3 at 5.
The district attorney says based on his recent criminal history, Pierre Walker should have never had the chance to be behind the wheel Friday. A drug can be sold one time. A girl can be sold over and over again. A local film crew put the cameras down this afternoon to help save 2 lives. I caught up with some of our 7th district leaders who told me they are excited and ready to get to work for our congressional district. Tabor City Police arrested 2 people over the weekend in connection with a chase that ended in a crash Saturday night, and the crime apparently started at a well-known address in town. But a proposed bill in the North Carolina House of Representatives could reduce the number of moped drivers on the streets. Well, it is sure to be a battle to November. Coming up at 11, we'll hear more from some people down on the floor where all the action and excitement is. And I'm Cacky Catlett. We are just days away from major federal spending cuts going into effect if the White House and Congress cannot reach a compromise. We want to cut to some breaking news right now. A helicopter has crashed into the ocean that's near Yopon Pier in Oak Island. Well, good evening and welcome to the battleship North Carolina. I'm Cacky Catlett. The scene was so dramatic down here, so many people. It's hard to really say exactly how many were here, so we took to the sky. WWAY's Cliff Pyron has a bird's eye view of today's service. All the buzz has been about the change that will happen tomorrow for the president's speech. I'm joined by political editor Kevin Wizzardo. And Kevin, you've been able to get reaction from people around here that some people say it's disappointing, some say it's a good thing. In today's Politics 101, following the money, the Center for Responsive Politics says a flood of cash has poured into Nevada from Political Action Committee. A 28-year-old mother of 2 in Sunset Beach is dead as investigators try and figure out what happened. And no, we're not in Hollywood tonight, but we are actually in Hollywood East enjoying Cucaloris's version of the Oscars. I'm with board member Robert Sharp. Tell me about tonight's event and how it's unique to Wilmington. Well, the battleship is North Carolina's World War II memorial. It's fitting for a ship that did so much during battle. WWAY's Tim Buckley has the story. This is the shot that every player should be able to sink, the classic jumper. Looks like I could use some help from the shot doctor.
Well, Cacky and tacky. Look at me.
Tell us what brings you to Wilmington.
Well, I love coming. I come in every year. When I was a little boy, I grew up in Delaware, so we'd always come out to North Carolina to go fishing, but now I have wonderful friends in the area. The Macs are here.
We got 5 foot of anchor women going to be taking on 7 foot basketball players. They don't have a chance.
These guys don't know what they're in for. I'm going to bring it to them. Who's your style? Tonight, a special report captured human trafficking in the port city. It's a crime with no boundaries.
Worldwide, it's a massive business.
Women and even young girls trapped in lives of misery, forced to have sex with perhaps dozens of men a day. This crime, known as human trafficking, is happening right here in the port city.
In our district, what we find more is a smaller local brothel type settings where the perpetrators are vetted by the persons running the brothel.
Federal investigators are working on several open cases of human trafficking.
The trends that we see in our area are that the victims tend to be female. They tend to be late teens, early 20s. They tend to be found in more rural areas than in the cities.
Many of the victims are immigrants promised a better life in the United States, but others are American girls. Regional Director of NC Stop Human Trafficking, Lindsay Robertson, says runaways are a prime target for traffickers.
What I'm seeing the most of here are girls who are in their teen years, 15, 16 years old, who are meeting a man older than them, generally in their early 20s, who are romancing them, becoming a significant other.
Neat Childs was 16 when a 36-year-old man befriended her. He eventually began pimping her out for sex in cities along the East Coast.
I felt betrayed. You know, I didn't think that could happen to me.
The buyers, not exactly who you may expect.
Doctors, businessmen, police officers, the people that we trust with our lives.
And on the supply side, it's all about the money. According to the United Nations, human trafficking is a $32 billion business worldwide. North Carolina ranks 7th in the country for the worst states for the crime. And here in Wilmington, investigators say Interstate 40 and the state port are hotspots for trafficking, where girls can be moved in and out of the city quickly. Federal investigators say the major difference between human trafficking and drug trafficking is that it's not a consumable product. A drug can be sold one time. A girl can be sold over and over again.
Its bottom line is about money, and that's why it's the fastest growing trade. Now it's surpassed, we think, gun trafficking, and it's right behind drug trafficking.
Organizers of the crime are using the internet to pinpoint their next victim and to solicit customers. New York-based Backpage.com has come under fire for advertising trafficking victims under its adult services section. The crime has many layers, making it even more difficult to identify and prosecute. District Attorney Ben David says society and local law enforcement have to change their mindset.
We need to change the term from she's a prostitute to she's being prostituted. In other words, from the noun to the verb.
Big dreams for who was once a little girl. To one day dance for the world to see. Today, at 21, Dara Holmes shows off effortless precision in her point work. Her days in the ballet studio began when she was just 8 years old.
I was just flipping through the encyclopedias one day and I saw ballet, and of course BA is one of the first words. And I saw the whole page or 2-page section of it, and I was just like, I have to be involved in this some kind of way.
Spending much of her childhood living in Wilmington's inner city, money for dance was hard to come by. Still, Dara's mom, Cynthia, hoped and prayed that one day her daughter would become an accomplished ballerina. The start to her dance dreams came from dance instructor at the Wilmington School of Ballet, Elizabeth Hester.
Dara had the most perfect ballet body I had ever laid my eyes on, and she had a focus that I had seen in very few dancers.
Elizabeth awarded Dara a full dance scholarship. Her mom's prayers answered. Unfortunately, she would never see her daughter's greatest success. Dara was 12 years old while riding in the car with her mom when a speeding car crashed into them. Dara suffered a broken collarbone. Her mom didn't survive.
Before that, we had gotten into a fight. But then right before we rounded the corner, I was like, Mommy, I love you. And she was like, I love you too. And then it happened.
The feeling of loss was overwhelming for the little ballerina. So she danced to escape reality.
It was easier for me to deal with it by coming to dance and either dancing through it and just letting it out through my dancing, or just to focus on something else besides the thoughts that were going through my head.
Dara's years in the ballet studio would finally pay off. She was awarded a full scholarship at the prestigious Herod Conservatory. From there, the internationally recognized Joffrey Ballet in Chicago brought her on with a full scholarship. Now, Dara dances full-time for Joffrey on world-renowned stages, fulfilling her mother's dreams for her little girl. Dara tells other girls,
go for it and don't let anyone stop you.